a very warm welcome along to Sportsbet TV. It's great to have you with us once again, and we're looking forward to some terrific action across the card in Britain and Ireland on Saturday the 24th of October. But just before we give you the three selections we have for this weekend, a quick word about Champions Day last week. It was always going to be tough on that very heavy ground, and we did warn you about some of the short prize favourites like Palace Pier and Stradivarius and others, and we were right on that score. The first three selections didn't manage to cope with conditions, but the good thing about tipping big priced horses is that you just need one really to pay the way, and that one was Adabe. Adabe did it for us, recommended at 10 to 1, he returned at 9 to 1, and he ran away with the Champions Stakes. Horse who has always revelled on very testing ground, and he really did have his day in the sun for William Haggas and Tom Marquand. So I hope very much you were on Adabe there, a horse that paid for the weekend without a shadow of a doubt. And we're hoping to do the same this weekend as well with three selections. It's coming towards the ends of the flat season, a truncated flat season. The ground is getting testing at many tracks, and the form can sometimes be thrown out of the window. And there's an interesting race at Newbury, the 3:35. The Group 3 Horace Hill Stakes is for 2-year-olds over 7 furlongs. Now the going at Newbury is heavy, and when it gets heavy there it really is testing. Now there's a horse who they're forecasting odds on called Lanakash of Roger Varians, who's a very decent horse. He could be odds on. He was a winner at Ascot on debut on good to firm ground over 7 furlongs. And then he was a very good runner-up in a listed race last time out. And the winner there has gone on to finish, run very, very well in the Group 2 Royal Lodge Stakes. So that form is very solid. But there's a question mark about it, and that is the ground. Will this horse cope with the ground? And is it sensible to be betting odds on a horse that you can't guarantee is going to handle the surface? I don't believe it is. He may win, but I don't believe it's good sense to be playing very short odds. Now the horse of interest here, amongst a number of very interesting unexposed 2-year-olds, is trained by John Gosden, the great John Gosden, and ridden by rising star Kieran Fallon. Now the horse is called Existent, and he's really interesting because he's the type of horse who could just go and win a race like this. He was third on debut at Newmarket in the summer. And then on the back of that, John Gosden decided to up him straight away as a maiden into the Group 2 Coventry Stakes, for which he started only 10 to 1 at Royal Ascot. So that shows that he is highly regarded and he's done a lot of good work at home. But he didn't run his race that day at Ascot after being slowly away. They decided to give him a 3-month break, probably just wasn't quite mature enough. He strengthened up over the summer and he came back to run at Newmarket last time. Now the significant point is he raced last time on heavy ground at Newmarket and he absolutely trotted up. He won by 6 lengths in the manner of a good horse. Now it wasn't one of those grinding heavy ground wins. If you get a chance to look at the replay, you'll see him really quicken as they came out of the dip. So this is a horse who has progressed very, very well indeed. Now he might not have beaten a great deal, but he did it well. And Gosden goes back into group company here with him, even though on official figures he's rated far inferior, some £25 on official figures, to the favourite Lanakash. Now, if he was indeed that far inferior, there's no way Gosden, the great trainer that he is, would run this horse. 1, because he probably wouldn't have a chance, and 2, if he got close, he would ruin the horse's potential handicap mark for the future. So that tells us straight away Gosden doesn't believe this is a handicapper. He believes this is a group horse. So I think that he's going to run a massive race, Existence. The Yard won the race in 2015 with Crazy Horse, another soft ground performer. And I think that at likely odds, we haven't had all the odds through at the time of this recording, late Friday morning, lunchtime, we think he'll be around 11 to 2. So that's Existent, who you can bet each way in the Horace Hill Stakes, a 3:35 race at Newbury. And then just 15 minutes later we go to Cheltenham, my favourite race course, Cheltenham, back for the start of a new season. They start on Friday, the second day is on Saturday. And there's the traditional 3 mile 1 furlong handicap chase, and some of our old favourites are back for more, including the likes of West Approach, Cogri, and good old Perfect Candidate, who is pretty ancient now but always seems to run his race here. But there's a great horse in this race, Frodon, the 2019 Ryanair Chase winner, Grade 1 winner. He's trained by Paul Nicholls and is the mount of Bryony Frost, who gets on so very well with this horse. A horse who was last seen finishing 4th as he tried to defend his crown in the Grade 1 Ryanair Chase at Cheltenham in March, which was eventually won by Min. Now, while he might not be at the very peak of his powers, he is still a rattling good horse, is Frodon, and he's run some very good races in the past, first time out after his summer break. And it's very significant to me that he's running in a handicap chase here, a non-graded handicap chase for the first time in his life. He has run in handicaps before, but they've always been graded handicaps, and then since then he's been running in the high class Grade 2 and Grade 1 races. So this really is a drop in class for him, and I think he's going to make it count. He loves the track. Bryony gets on so well with him, Paul Nicholls having plenty of winners, the ground will be absolutely ideal, and at the time of this recording 5 to 1 is fairly freely available, with the likes of Skybet, William Hill, Betfair, Paddy Power, Betfred and a few others. So I think Frodon, given a chance here in easier company than he normally tackles, is worth a bet at 5 to 1, and that is at Cheltenham on Saturday in the 350. The final selection is at Doncaster, where it's the old Racing Post Trophy Day, the Vertum Futurity it's called these days, and all credit to Vertum for sponsoring there. John Dance's company, of course, the owner of Lawrence amongst others. But we're not looking at that race because, to be honest, I can't figure it out. I'm completely in the dark with the mixture of the Irish and the English form, and I'm leaving that one alone, giving it a wide berth. But there's an interesting handicap over 7 furlongs at Doncaster at 4.05. The going is forecast good to soft. There could be some rain. That won't be a problem to our selection. There are 16 runners, so the firms are betting 4 places. There may even be 1 or 2 that try to get some business in by offering 5 places. And the horse that I think is worth a second glance here at a decent price is called Presidential. He's trained by Roger Fell, who's a really good trainer of handicaps, and Ben Curtis is just having the most marvellous season. They can't seem to stop riding winners. Now this horse is rated 85. He's a winner of 6 of his 44 starts, has been placed numerous times as well, and 2 of his wins have come at Doncaster over course and distance. Indeed, he's never ever run a bad race at Doncaster. He's placed a number of times. He's also run very well out of the places in pretty decent company over the years, and he won over the course and distance in June. He's been a fair second at Leicester since then in September. Didn't quite run to his best over the last 2 starts, but there were excuses, and he's down now to just a pound above his last winning rating, and I think that is significant. The draw in stall 6 is fine, and he does have a solid chance, and as I say, if it rains, the soft ground would not be a problem to him. Now, there are no early prices at the time of this recording at Friday late morning, but the Timeform guide suggests 16 to 1, which I think's very, very generous. If you see 16, then you want to be having a look at Presidential. I think he'll be around a 12 to 1 shot, and I think that's worth a bet each way. So a horse that loves the course and distance, and has got probably the ideal ground conditions if it stays good to soft. If it eases, that certainly won't inconvenience him. So Presidential each way, 12 to 1. If you can get the 16s, grab it. That's in the 4.05 at Doncaster. And he's our 3rd and final selection on Saturday, so possible round robin there, or 3 doubles and a treble, whatever you like. But I shall leave it with you and look forward to you joining me, Paul Alster, next week at Sportsbet TV, when the jump season is really getting into top gear. So join me then, but for now, have a great weekend. Bye-bye, take care.